Hello there. In this video, we're going to be taking some cheap Arduino sensors, throwing it in the water, collecting some data, and seeing if we can use that data to create our own depth charts in Google Earth. So, without any more delay, let's get into the video. Starting with the components. To get a GPS fix, we'll be using a GTU7 GPS module. I've already gone ahead and soldered the pins on the back. And now we'll attach the GPS antenna. To collect depth data, we'll be using the JSN SR04T ultrasonic transceiver. Feel free to check out an earlier video I did on the sensor, and this will let us collect the depth. And the last component we'll need to house all the sensor is an ESP32 Arduino module, and this will let us transmit the data wirelessly. The nice thing about our GPS module is it can run off the 3.3 volt rail, and this frees up the 5 volt rail to plug in our ultrasonic transceiver. The code that defines which pin goes where will either be in the description or in a pinned comment below. To keep costs as low as possible, I'll be using a very stylish sippy cup, and I've already gone ahead and widened the hole at the top of the lid so I can fit the connector through. I also found a piece of metal that was a little bit bigger than the hole, and this will give us something to connect our snap swivel to, and thus we can connect our line to. The last bit of prep work we need to do is attach our sensor holder to the container, and I'll put a link in the description below for the sensor holder I designed. And while I got the hot glue gun out, I'll also put a little bit of hot glue at the top just to help keep the water out of the hole. Putting the electronics inside, this is what our very stylish sonar buoy looks like. And before we go outside, I'll just give it a quick test to make sure there's no leaks. Heading outside, I first casted out my fish finder, and this is just so I could get some numbers to compare to. And here it looks like the spot ranged anywhere from around 2.3-ish, 2.4 to around 1 meter in depth, and these are the values we will look out for with our own sonar buoy. I then switched over to our own sonar buoy and started casting it out to collect some data. Which, speaking of data collection, let's talk about how to operate it. When the ESP32 is powered on, it creates a Wi-Fi network called ESP32 GPS, and this is the network we will want to connect to on our phone. Once connected, we'll open up our web browser and we'll want to go to 192.168.4.1. This is the default gateway for our ESP32 module, and this lets us connect to it. Once connected, we can start to record data, shown by the green text. We can also stop recording data when we're done casting, and then we can also download the data in a CSV format. Once we're done with a certain spot, we can clear the data, and this wipes the spreadsheet clean. The type of data that we are collecting is displayed right away, so we don't have to wait till we get back to our computer, and that includes the GPS signal, the number of satellites, the accuracy, the speed, the present heading, and of course the depth data displayed in centimeters. The sonar unit seemed to function just fine, with the only major issue being that I didn't quite press the sensor in deep enough, so I had to go ahead and pop it back in. Once we're done collecting data, we can head over to a mapping tool like Google Earth, import the CSV file, and the latitude and longitude should be automatically recognized, allowing us to easily import our data. We can also apply a color gradient, which will make the deeper portions appear darker, and the shallower portions appear lighter, giving us a nice visual cue to see what our depth gradient looks like. We can see now that all our data points have been imported, and we get a nice visual display of everything we've collected, including the latitude, longitude, and most importantly, the depth. And with that, our project is concluded. We were able to take some cheap sensors, throw it in the water, collect some data, and map that data on Google Earth. I hope you had a good time watching, and if you'll excuse me, I got some more mapping to do. Have a good one.